We're now going to make a lovely garland of flowers design. So I've already made a background for the flowers. I've got here a nice nude pink colour. I've chosen to use gel polish here and then put a top coat on it without a sticky layer. You can also, if you want to use a background of acrylic, of gel, acryl, gel, whatever product you want to use as your background, just make sure it's a nice nude colour. So first of all, we're going to be doing a design going in this direction, diagonally. And we're first going to do a small flower. It's going to be a 5-petaled flower. So what I'm going to do is we will use white to start off with for this. Keep it nice and easy to start off with. Make sure we've got everything at hand that we need. So, okay. I've chosen to use the small brush for this design. So let me just get it nice and remove all the air bubbles from the brush to start off with. As you know, as you've learnt, as you've practiced, I hope. Now, what we want to do is pick up a very small ball. So we just wipe the brush a few times, picking up a small white ball. That's it. And I'm just going to place it here, the first ball. As you've learnt, we just wait for that to settle and just wipe the brush while waiting. So just try to make everything a bit easier. It's becoming matte, the ball, so we're going to make the tiny, tiny petal by my pressing into this at a 45-degree angle. Just using the tiny, tiny tip of the brush. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything more at the moment, just pressing. I'll turn my brush slightly and again just with the slight tip I press. Okay. Bring it into a point to the centre of the flower. And then we can press again. So here we have the first tiny petal. I'm now going to pick up the next one. And we place it next to it. Press it into a slight ball shape. I'm just gently waiting for it to become matte again. It's starting to happen now, so now I can just slice in again. And press at the 45-degree angle. And we come into our point again. So. Scoop it around gently. Like we've already practiced the cutting of the acrylic, that's kind of what we're doing. And now we just press it again in the middle. What you want to make sure is if you do have any loose bits of acrylic and liquid that end up on your tip, that you wipe it away with the damp brush, with the brush which has got the acrylic liquid in it. It does take a little bit of practice to judge also where to put your balls, but that's okay when you're doing flowers. Just keep practicing. If you think it's in the wrong position, you can just push it around a little bit into the correct position. It's really not a problem. Always bringing your brush back into a nice point and just waiting for the acrylic to get a little bit matte, which is now. We also don't want to wait too long because if we wait too long it becomes too hard and we can't actually press it into any kind of shape. So we just add a little dent there, and again bringing my brush to my 45-degree angle. Push the petals. And I'll push it into a point. Right into the center, there we go. The nice thing is, I mean, you can just choose whatever colour of acrylic you like. I've decided to do white on this flower, but you can really play around with colours. If you don't want too much contrast, you could also just go for a pink flower, pink petals, for example. This ball, I'm going to remove it. I didn't like that ball. It was a little bit too wet. So you just pick it up and wipe underneath with your brush so that everything's clean again. Oops, get rid of it there. So we just pick up a new ball. Make sure the brush is clean. It was too large. Just need a tiny little ball. Just tiny, tiny, tiny. So we still need to fit in 2 more petals into this tiny little space. So that's it. Just wait a little bit. And just push it slightly more into a ball shape. And it's starting to become matte now, which is great. I shall now press, let's press down. That's lovely. I'm going to have to come around this side to push the petal into a nice point in the middle there. That's it. And we'll do our last petal now for this one. That's too large. We've only got a small gap left. That's better. A tiny little ball. Just rest it right there in the gap. And as I said, just play around with colours. You could do this in white, with pink acrylic. It would even be nice with like blue or purple petals on your flowers. That could also be really nice. I would just recommend to use just plain colours. I wouldn't go working with glitter acrylic. That's quite difficult to do 3D flowers using glitter acrylic. Because when you do that, the glitter, it does tend to become quite brittle if you're trying to mould into certain shapes, so I wouldn't really recommend that, especially not if you're a beginner. But this is such a lovely technique, and it's also very nice and relaxing actually. So even if you are not doing it on your customer's nails straight away or on your own nails, it's also nice just as a hobby, even just to do this. I think that's looking quite nice, lovely. I have in the middle a slight area which I would like to cover up to make white. So I am going to just wipe my brush, pick up the tiniest dot of acrylic, really tiny, just to fill in the gap ever so slightly, just to paint it in, because there was just a little bit too much pink showing there from underneath. That's better, that's what we want. So we'll move on to our second flower now. We'll just move this flower down slightly. Okay, we'll put a petal about here then. Okay, it's becoming matte. Just make sure you can see what I'm doing. Press it down. Oops, I can see here acrylic. That's it, we just remove it. We don't want that on there to make it look messy. Try to keep it all nice and tidy. So. I place my second ball. This ball will start to get matte. And now we're going to also place the next ball. You can place a ball here as well. Yep. So this one's starting to get harder. So I can press into this one because it's getting harder, this first ball. That's it, and this ball will bring into shape. This is now also getting harder, this ball. And I'm going to press into it. I do have to turn it ever so slightly because otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, so we press into that one. We push it again with the brush, with the flat edge of the brush. That's it, lovely. Oops. Oh yeah, that ball just went into completely the wrong place. Let's do it again. That's better. Too big? Let's see. Pick up a smaller ball. Let's have a look, a little bit more. That's it. So this ball can get hard, and at the same time we will go in and pick up the following ball. That's it, and we just place it, say, here. Now let's move the first ball over a little bit to the side. That's it. So let's cut into this. And really this is just a case of practice, practice, practice. So you can understand how the acrylic feels. It's just a lot of practicing. So then we check, go to this one and cut into this because it's gone matte. If you are doing this and you're too slow and you really still need to cut into it, you could use your spatula, and then you might then be able to make a little indentation and cut into it in that way. It's a bit stronger than the bristles of your brush. So we've got two lovely little flowers. So hopefully you've done this and you should be feeling proud of yourself that you've done this already. What we're going to do now is add some petals. For the petals we can still use our white and some green. We're just going to make this link up together just to make it flow, just to make it look nice. So your leaves are actually the same shape as your petals were, and this is what we do. We go into the we're going to our lighter colour, so we pick up a little bit of white and then a little bit of green, so that we've got a petal with a bit of green on it. I will place a ball here, say. Oops, doesn't want to let go. That's it. So we've got a ball of green there. Just move these out of the way a little bit. So that's it. With your petal, that's it, you have it nice and close to the flower. And we're going to cut into the petal here, just like this. Just cut right into it. And you can actually, if you want to, you can just push it out ever so slightly. And you can still move it around to have it as you want it. Maybe it's nice if it goes slightly more up in the air. That's it, just to make it a bit more fluid, the design. That's our first petal. Let's do another one. So we're going into the liquid. First, we go into the lighter colour first, and then the green. I will place it close by to that first petal, why not? Just have it there. That's it. Remember, in between, to keep wiping your brush, you want to keep your brush lovely and clean. Okay, it's getting matte. So now we can press it. I will press this one downwards, why not? So, another petal. I've chosen to use white and green, but I mean, if you want to, you can also do your petals with green and yellow. You can do them actually in any colour you like. I mean, you can make the design as wild as you want to, but for this first one, I thought it would be nice just to choose nice subtle colours. So I've got a ball for the first leaf. Let me just, 1 minute, just clean this up a bit. Yeah. And I'm going to pick a ball immediately now for the next leaf. Just place it next to it, why not? So, right, let's press this one into shape. Let's have it coming down a little bit. And this is a great design to practice, to get used to pressing the ball around, getting used to feeling the acrylic. It's very nice. So, that's another little petal, and here we're going to have one. I'm going to bring this one upwards a little bit. So I just angle my brush away from me. Scoop the petals inwards. See? I think that this petal should have been a bit lower, so I'm just scraping it so it comes out the opening, because otherwise it would have been coming out of a leaf. There's a slight opening on all your flowers. You've got little areas, openings, and I think it's nicer if it's there. Oh, it's in the correct position, and I'd like them to be in twos, the leaves. So let's just add another one. This one can go there. And it's time to cut into this one. I played around with it a little bit too long. But still, we can still mould it into shape, as you see. Not a problem. Oops. And this one can go down. Look here, I've got green on my petal and I don't want that, so I've just wet my brush, I'll just wipe it away. Nice and clean, that's it. Oops, let's pick that up again. So if I bring it down into the opening, down there into the little opening, that's better. And let's see, let's do another one that can be higher, the next sleeve. And the good thing with flower designs is they really can't go wrong. In nature, the flowers are nice and fluid, and petals and leaves moving all over the place. So let's see. Can you see what I'm doing? Yep. I'm just going to cut into this one upwards a little bit. Okay. And now it's time for the last little leaf. So I like that, I think that's cute. What we're going to do now is we're going to add a centre to our flowers. I've got here some acrylic in, I think it's red or dark pink. In any case, we're going to pick up the tiniest ball, which means you need to wipe your brush as much as possible. And it's going to be so small, it's just to add to the centre of the flowers, so they've got a little centre to them. Let's see. It's just like tiny. You just drop it in like that and leave it. And then we pick up another one. Just tiny little ball. That's it. And we add it to the centre of this one. I like that. Now let me just pat it down a little bit so that it sticks. What I think is also nice on the design is to add just a tiny bit of glitter just to finish it off. So what we do is you can use your top coat and you can just place it around. Just place it around the top part of the design. I've just got to pop this into my lump just to harden it slightly. And what I've got is I've got a glitter. This is, I don't know if you can see it, it's a white glitter with little bits of silver in it. And really any glitter is fine for this, whatever you like. Just make sure it's a fine, nice and subtle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press that into my top coat. Yeah. So what we do is top coat is sticky, so I can just press a tiny amount of glitter in. I don't want the glitter going onto the flowers because I just want this as a tiny accent design. That's it. So let's see. I'm just going to put that back into the lump. And when it comes out the lump, I'm going to give it its final top coat. Yeah, it's out of the lump. And let's just seal in these lovely little glitters that we've got. The flowers are meant to look matte. That's the look of the acrylic once it's finished. And you don't want to go over those with top coat, otherwise you'll spoil the lovely effect of the flowers. We want them to pop out on the design. And at the top of the design, we've got a bit of, it's a bit shiny. And the bottom of the design is matte. So here we've got a lovely design, a garland of flowers. I hope you enjoyed making that. Have fun practicing this design. Here, of course, we've done two little flowers, but if you wanted to, you could also do a row of 4 flowers, or you could just do one in the corner with even more leaves flowing down. Just play around with the design and have fun with it. Thanks for watching.